Capoeira societies had their own special emblems and ritual communications, making use of dress, colors, and whistles to announce their identity and belonging. I wonder who whistles these days. Do gangsters whistle? Do they wear certain types of clothing? Capoeiras were marked by their characteristic clothing, particularly broad-rimmed felt hats such as berets or bonies, whatever the hell those are. The preferred colors were white or red, and to wear such a hat put a bondsman or free black at risk of arrest, as the police recognized these hats as symbols of high-ranking Capoeira society members. So basically, when you're a real banger, in a gang culture, right, you put under your flag. You're like, look, why should I be afraid? There's two major types of gangsters who have reputation in the streets. One is a guy who's a complete psychopath, who's like, nigga, I'm banging. And they got that idea from Capoeira. It's like, I'm going against the grain. I know the cops are going to give me a hard time, but look, I'm a fucking martial artist. I'm not some fucking hacky sack bitch. They want it, what's cracking, homie? That's where they got it from. Okay? For example, when two capoeiras were arrested on May 17th, 1815. 1815. And it's a long time before we see, a lot of these minority gangs spring up in America that we have now, right? The report stated that this occurred at a gathering of capoeiras and a red hat was found, symbol of a capoeira. What color was the hat? What color was the hat? Don't the gang stalkers use red? Kind of like biting African occult, color symbolism, if you will. Don't the gangs, don't a lot of people, red and blue, And so it's kind of like it's our stuff, just like martial arts, and they stole it and twisted it and to make themselves look good and changed it, right? Just like the liberals did with Bob Marley's music, right? Anyway, it goes on. Joachim Congo was arrested for being encountered with a razor and a beret of capoeira, and presumably Joaquim Cambinda and Joaquim Nunes were similarly dressed when they were arrested for walking as capoeiras. It's like, look, you people are such badasses that you will be arrested for walking as a badass. You cannot make our races look good by highlighting the fact that you're the toughest around. You will be arrested by a bunch of white people with guns for that. Know your place. Make it seem like the white man is better. The same bitch shit they're telling me. These hats were often adorned with colored ribbons that marked their owners as initiated capoeiras of specific local societies. Represent, right? Represent. By all means. Jose Rebolo was arrested for capoeira and having a white straw hat with a large yellow ribbon. Even without the hats, colored ribbons were ritual markers of capoeiras. For example, Jose Cabinda and Antonio Pardo were arrested in 1814 for playing capoeira with different colored ribbons. And Antonio Cassange was arrested for confronting Antonio Montero with headbutts while holding a colored ribbon in his hand. These ribbons were also used to mark territory of... Okay, we can go on and on and on. Make a long story short, no one has more of a right to claim Crip than black people. No one has more of a right to say their race is superior than black people or that their gang is the toughest. Okay, we invented this shit. We were the only ones on the street. Everyone else did what the white man said like a good little bitch. How many people were rolling with, Geronimo? How many people? Like 5 or 6? Nigga, we were there in force, in full rebellion. 1815, we're the pinnacle of white racism and white people having the advantage. You understand yet who the fuck the real tough guys are? Let's go on. It may have also... Okay, let me read. I'm going to end with the leopard society thing. Okay? These ribbons also marked communal action, as when various local groups came together for collective exercises, while at the same time demonstrating their individual groups' colors. It's like, look, you can be a Blood, Crip, Vice Lord, Gangster Disciple, Capoeira, Montu artist. We need to come together, like in Neckin and Nubia. Another form of symbolic communication used within and between local groups was whistling. Whistling was identified by the police as a phenomenon exclusive to capoeira. So did whistling come from any group of people representing wearing colors and walking around like they ain't playing one bit? Or did it come from capoeiras? Interesting how you see these Mexican gangs whistling, right? because the Hispanic community is not just Mexicans, right? There's El Salvadorians and Cubans and Colombians and all sorts of people who come here, and some of them come through Mexico, and they kind of have a Hispanic community in a way, and then there's respective groupings within the Hispanic community, and of course that rubbed off on the other Hispanic community. So yes, Hispanic gang culture, you fucking morons, comes from black people. You remember that next time you say Mayate, you fool. Give us our respect. Royal Angola was jailed for whistling like capoeira. At times, this was done with the aid of a physical whistle. Jose Bengula was arrested for walking with a whistle and whistling capoeira. The form of ritual communication may have been used to alert society members of the presence of danger in the form of rival groups or the agents of repression. It may also have acted as a form of communication between society members during their night marches, the leopard societies. So who were they? They were Igbo-based societies. These were societies of Igbo warriors fighting for honor. These weren't some pussy-ass, skinny, scared-to-death, dope fiend, meth head gang banger in San Jose. These were the killers that history remembers with honor. Unlike you disgraceful dogs. During their night marches, the leper societies used various forms of ritual communication to coordinate their movements without speech and alert non-initiates of their nocturnal forays. One such communication was a strange flute-like whistling that warned people to go inside. So look, nigga, we don't just do martial arts, cuh. We think about all aspects of warfare. We are the greatest military minds in history, the pioneers of military tactics, and every last one of you fucking knows it. We are the pioneers of guerrilla warfare, and every last one of you knows it. While common people avoided capoeira societies during their nocturnal marches, they were drawn to the entertaining daytime activities of capoeiras. Like many African closed societies and important... Look, we're closed. No Asians, no islanders, no whites. This is for black people who have a code of honor. All you lesser forms of life, hit the exit. The homies is here, you bitch. Anyway, where was I? Like many African closed societies, an important aspect of Malta's was to provide entertainment for the community at large during festive occasions and funerals. So, there was entertainment. But do you think any one of these people, for even a slight second, would put an entertainer at a community fucking party above a transcendent warrior who can kill better than anyone else? You ask yourself that, mini-me. You ask yourself that, lesser. You ask yourself that, bitch-ass niggas. Oh, hiding-ass pussies who know nothing about ritual. Read a fucking book. Why do I have to read it to you, you bitch? Anyway. A French observer noted that capoeiras frequented at all large gatherings and in popular festivals they often preceded processions, executing a gymnastic or special dance also called capoeira. So notice the dance is an aspect of African martial art warfare and not the entire application that the slaves taught. So what you are being taught at your capoeira places is not what my ancestors actually did in its entirety. Applications are all that matters. Those are entertainment exercises compared to how I train and applications of deadly arts, which is what makes the top martial artists, not who has the coolest, who can entertain the best at a funeral or a fucking party. If you get my drift, you party trick little bitch. Punk ass motherfuckers. A young bondsman named Antonio enjoyed such a diversion while at a public square where he was entertained with acrobatic and agile exercises that the mob called capoeira. In addition to the yoga de capoeira proper, individual capoeiras may have exhibited their skills in church towers by using their dynamic kicks to strike the church bell. So, what bell rings the loudest? Is it communism? What bell is historically black and attached to African black culture? Is it feminism or LGBT bitch shit? Or is it Sagiti? Christianity? Parts of our sacred African American experience that should never ever be insulted by those who don't even understand that it is an Afro-Asiatic religion, first and foremost. Pretending that, oh, it's white and slave masters. Motherfucker, the whites weren't the only ones using Christianity to their advantage, dickhead. Read a book. Why do I have to read it to you? Step down and let the top martial artist lead. You bitch-ass niggas. Pussy-ass niggas. Whole-ass niggas. Punks. Capoeira societies made special appearances from these bell towers at funerals. It is sacred. It is connected to our sacred burial. But yet they don't care about martial arts or Christianity in its pure form. Our leaders want to accept devil nonsense and teach their women to date men based on their ability to conform and acquire wealth in a devil society. Shame on all of you. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. During the times when burials took place in churches and when religious festivals were frequent, the church towers were filled with capoeiras. Famous bell ringers that sat sitting on the top of the bell swung with them with the momentum of the strikes, blessing from the heights the masses that admired them crowd in the plazas or streets. We are the head of the priesthood, like in Egypt. Admire us as we take our sacred place in this sacred funeral ritual and funerary procession. Are you starting to get it yet, you pussies? Should kill one of you. Anyway, I'm not going to anytime soon. Anyway, where were we? Such periodic surfacing of close society members publicly demonstrating their mastery, helped establish their authority by flaunting their independence and power in the public sphere. So who historically, not just in Africa, but in America, had authority in the black community? The admiration of potential wives, economic advancement. It wasn't you pencil dick Masons. Man, beat the dog shit out of any geek who says it was otherwise. It was a college professor that wrote this book, dumbass, and a bunch of other scholars helped him. And you geeks are going to turn around and pretend that you should be above me? I should fucking scrape you right now. Anyway. By flaunting their independence and power in the public sphere. So were they flaunting material power? Were they like, we're Masons with a lot of the white man's money, come respect us? Or were they like, we are spiritual martial artists of God. We are Christian men fighting for honor. In the African tradition, and the leopard Igbo society is one of the most well-respected among us. These are not Masonic societies. These are leopard, Igbo, and Angolan societies that traveled from Africa to here. Not pissant, cute little tricks. Not hacky sack nonsense. Not suburban white denial, but truth, spirituality, war, and God by the image of God. And don't you ever confuse the two. You punk-ass motherfuckers. Capoeira societies served leadership and paramilitary roles among the larger bonded communities of Rio, and thus they were important actors in the social and political landscape of the population. And because of the nature of secrecy, you could look up Huey Newton. Guerrilla warfare is in secret, right? Where did they get it from? Because of that, there is no documented evidence of secret societies, just like in any other history book, right? Of secret societies manipulating the environment. But anyone with a brain, with a little insight, couldn't possibly miss this elephant in the room. If you still don't understand how they are denying me my important role as the top martial artist, a transcending hero, and the most desirable man in the black community, kill yourself, please. Thank you.
You know why they don't want to admit the transferable skills and give the black man his credit? Because then every race must admit that their cultures, including their war arts and their very religions, the things they thought were unique to them, come from Africa. And that Africans have a superior warrior body And that's, for the same reason their tribe conquered these other tribes and kept them at bay until technology came in, because their warrior culture created superior natural war arts that repelled all other war arts. And